Hey guys! The conclusion of Dark Matter Season 1 closely mirrored that of the 2016 novel, although Apple TV seemed to abandon one of the additional plots as the story neared its end. Joel Edgerton leads the Dark Matter ensemble as Jason Desson, and his character S had a remarkably comparable trajectory to their book counterparts. Blake Crouch, who created the original book on which the show was based, returned as showrunner and main scriptwriter. Crouch made various adjustments to the Dark Matter book while developing the show, but he did not resolve every new story element. The conclusion of Dark Matter Season 1 surprisingly suggests another run of episodes on Apple TV. With the source material depleted, the show would move beyond the events of the book and continue on its new course. A continuation of Dark Matter might mean learning the fates of both new and old characters. However, one character in particular was overlooked during the last moments of the Season 1 finale, and they contributed something new to the adaptation. The ending of Dark Matter Season 1 does not fully resolve Detective Mason's missing persons investigation. Kate Eastman portrays Detective Jamie Mason in 2 Dark Matter Season 1 episodes. Detective Mason, like Amanda Brugel's Blair Kaplan, is only featured in Apple TV as live-action adaptation and does not exist in the book. She fills a gap in the program that the novel leaves open by investigating disappearances related to Jason2's multiverse box. Despite her lack of knowledge about the disappearances, the program at least mentions Velocity's missing box pilots, in contrast to the novel's oblique references. Although Crouch recognized that his new version of the story required a character like Mason to make sense, the adaptation does not do the additional credit. Although the decision to introduce Eastman's Dark Matter figure is creative, it ultimately lacks direction and becomes completely forgotten by the time the finale unfolds. Mason's research posed a significant threat to Jason2's plan to seamlessly integrate into his new life, and he walked away too quickly from what could have been a thrilling cat-and-mouse chase. Detective Mason could be Jason2's biggest obstacle in Dark Matter. A second season of Dark Matter on Apple TV has the potential to rekindle the tension between Detective Mason and Jason2. While Mason made little progress in her search for the Lost Box pilots, she had identified Jason2 as a person of interest when Jimmy Simpson's Ryan Holder vanished from the face of the earth. As a result, she will undoubtedly keep a close eye on Edgerton's villain in the future. Dark Matter Season 1 only depicts Jason2 as reflective after helping the Dessons escape Jason-infested Chicago, leaving his fate unknown. Interestingly, he does not appear to have any ambitions to escape the box, preferring to remain in his new reality. If that's the case, Detective Mason will soon discover that Daniela and Charlie have also gone missing. Jason2 may try to hide his tracks by declaring Daniela and Charlie missing, but Mason's assessment of Jason2 does not rule him out as the main candidate. Mason will have little proof to blame Jason2 for Daniela and Charlie's abduction, and she will naturally ignore the notion that they escaped into Dark Matter's multiverse. However, she is unlikely to simply step aside and cease investigating Jason2's dubious actions. From her standpoint, being unable to locate Jason2's supposed wife and child would be a severe reason for concern. Therefore, it will depend on whether she can provide any proof that Jason2 is guilty. In an arguably indirect sense, he is. Dark Matter Season 2 must be careful not to undo Jason2's redemption. In the Dark Matter Season 1 finale Entanglement, Jason2 experiences a last-minute moment of atonement when he saves the Desson family from an incoming horde of his multiversal doppelgangers. As a result, the story's major villain appears to have taken extraordinary measures to conceal his identity. Instead, he seemed to have acknowledged that he was in the wrong when he stole Jason's life, regardless of how he justified his actions to himself and others. What makes this even more intriguing is that the Dark Matter Season 2 authors must find a method to resolve Jason2's battle with Detective Mason without making things even bloodier. In other words, Jason2 cannot simply solve his problems by murdering Mason, as this would entirely reverse his transformation during Entanglement. On the other hand, dropping the Detective Mason storyline entirely would make little sense. Not to mention that the arc is fantastic, and it would be a shame not to continue it in a future Dark Matter Season 2.